You can write VSLs that convert like Alex Hormozi without being Alex Hormozi. I know this because at Brainly we've built AI copywriting systems that generate better VSLs than most human copywriters. If you're a marketer, agency owner, or an entrepreneur who's tried using AI for copywriting, you're getting terrible results because you're using generic prompts instead of context blueprints. There's a new method that feeds AI structured context based on proven frameworks, turning it into your personal copywriting genius. You don't need copywriting experience or coding skills. You just need to understand how to structure context the right way. I run Brainly, an AI-first agency where we help businesses transform from AI-less to AI-first operations. A few months ago, we were building a copywriting AI system for one of our clients. They wanted to automate their content creation process. The outputs were trash, generic, soulless copy that sounded like every other AI-generated piece of content flooding the internet. The client hated it and I hated it, and I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of embarrassing. I thought we had a model problem. Maybe Claude wasn't enough. And I spent weeks chasing the latest models, thinking that that was the solution. But here's what I learned. The model wasn't the problem. I was the problem and my prompts were the problem. I was asking AI to write copy without giving it any real context about the business, the audience, or what actually works in copywriting. I was basically asking a world-class chef to cook a perfect meal for someone without telling them if the person was vegan, allergic to nuts, or even hungry. That's when everything changed. I learned this the hard way, through failure after failure with our agency clients. But the breakthrough came when I started studying Alex Hormozi's frameworks for offer creation. Not just reading his books, but really understanding how he structures offers, how he thinks about value, how he positions problems and solutions. I realized I wasn't just missing context. I was missing structured, proven frameworks that actually work. That's when I discovered context blueprints. Instead of throwing random information at AI, I started feeding it structured JSON objects based on proven frameworks. Hormozi offer structure, customer research methodologies, copywriting formulas that actually convert. I went from someone frustrated with AI copy to someone who would generate better VSLs than most human copywriters. And you're about to learn exactly how I did it. I'm about to show you the exact context blueprint system that transformed our copywriting results. You will see a real before and after comparison, same AI model, same basic request, completely different outputs. The difference? Context blueprints. Let me show you what most people do when they want AI to write a VSL. Let's say they are using quite a decent prompt. They open ChatGPT or Claude and type something like this. Write me a VSL following this framework. Make sure it follows this framework. Start with a strong hook. Incite curiosity. I offer productivity systems for entrepreneurs to save 5 hours a week with AI. Future pacing. Imagine when you have this. Pain, pleasure, leverage, objection handling, believability systems, risk reversal. So here's the AI last prompt with no specific rules, some guidance. This prompt is quite decent, but it could have been a lot better. And we're gonna focus on the offer. Here in the yellow text, I offer productivity systems for entrepreneurs to save 5 hours per week with AI. So this is the offer that user wants to sell using this VSL. The offer is the only variable that is gonna change throughout our video to show you the power of context blueprints. So this prompt will result in extremely generic copy that's obviously AI generated, even though they included basic details about their offer and target customer. But here's the thing. Think of AI like you're hiring the best copywriter in the world. Imagine you could actually hire Eugene Schwartz to write your VSL. You wouldn't just email him saying, write me a VSL about productivity for entrepreneurs and expect magic, right? You'd probably give them a detailed brief. So, who's the target customer? What's their biggest pain point? What makes your offer different? What proof do you have? And finally, what's your unique mechanism? But that's exactly what people do with AI. They treat it like a magic button instead of like a world-class professional who needs a proper information to do great work. The common mistake is thinking the model is the problem when really it's your prompt that sucks. Now let me show you what happens when you use a context blueprint. But first, you need to understand what a JSON object is. And don't be afraid, it's actually super simple to understand and I will explain it to you in 20 seconds. Think of JSON like addressing a letter. Instead of scribing send to my friend, you write the name in one line, street address on another, and city and zip code below that. So instead of telling AI, my audience is busy entrepreneurs who work too much and want more time, you structure it like this. Target avatar, demographics, busy entrepreneurs 25 to 45. Pain points, constant overwhelm, working 80 plus hours per week and the desired outcome 10 plus hours per week. So it's the same information but organized in a way AI can actually process and use effectively. Now, instead of the generic prompt, I'm going to use a context blueprint that describes my offer based on Alex Hormozi framework. We create the JSON with the Alex Hormozi offer creation prompt. Now, I know this might look a little bit scary, but it's actually just an output of a prompt itself, so you don't have to write or edit it manually. And this is the context blueprint that contains everything that AI needs to write compelling copy. Who we're talking to, what they really want, how we're positioned, and what makes us different. I won't go into the details right now, but just so you can see, it's a huge irresistible offer, context blueprint, using the value equation, describing the dream outcome, perceived likelihood of achievement, time delay, effort sacrifice, and all of the aspects you could consider for our offer. It was simply broken down from our description, what are we selling, and compiled into this detailed context blueprint. I discovered this approach after months of experimenting at Brainly. I tried XML, Markdown, even external files. Nothing worked until I found JSON context blueprints. Structure your context like data, not like conversation. AI understands structured data better than long explanations. Then we simply take the exact same prompt that we used previously, but we inject the entire context. So this entire context blueprints go exactly here. So now if you take a deeper look, you can see it's the exact same prompt as before. The only difference is here that we provide super detailed context blueprint about our offer. But now you're probably wondering how to gather all this business context without spending hours on manual work, because that would defeat the whole purpose of using AI for efficiency. When I was struggling with copywriting system we were building for our client, I spent weeks reading Hormozi's books. Not just reading, studying, understanding how he breaks down offers into the dream outcome, perceived likelihood of achievement, time delayed, and effort sacrifice. Then I translated that framework into a context blueprint structure. Now, creating this level of detailed context for every business manually would take hours. That's why I developed a specialized prompt that interviews you about business and automatically generates comprehensive context blueprints based on Hormozi's framework. This prompt, along with AI assistants that handle the entire process, is part of how I help entrepreneurs transition from AI last to AI first operators. You simply describe your business in plain language and AI creates perfect context for any copy you need. So rather than experimenting, I prefer to use what people way smarter than me have already proved works. This is what I learned after building dozens of AI systems at Brainly. While models are important, it's not only about finding the perfect model, it's about perfect and detailed context. The breakthrough moment came when I realized AI is only as good as the context you give it. Feed it garbage context, get a garbage copy. Feed it structured, strategic context based on proven frameworks, get copy that converts. But here's what most people don't understand about AI and copywriting. AI isn't gonna replace you as copywriter, not anytime soon. But you're competing with people who know how to use AI better than you do. While you are still using the AI last approach, how I like to call it, and getting disappointed with your results, your competitors are building context blueprint systems that give them an unfair advantage. They are writing better copy, they are writing faster, they are testing more variations, they are scaling their content creation in ways you can't even imagine. But here's the thing, you can catch up too. You can get ahead. You just need to stop thinking like an AI last operator and start thinking like an AI first operator. Context blueprints aren't just about better copy. They are about building a system that scales. Once you create a context blueprint for your business, you can use it for VSLs, email sequences, ad copy, social media posts, everything. You go from starting from scratch every time to having a repeatable system that consistently produces results. The window is closing. Every day you wait is another day your AI-first competitors get further ahead. But if you act now, if you start building your context blueprint system today, you can get ahead of them all. The choice is simple. Keep struggling with generic AI copy or start building context blueprints and unlock copywriting superpowers you never knew existed. What are you waiting for?